Hi, it's Khandie. I'm going to do a super quick review on the photo show. This is the 2022 edition at the NEC in Birmingham. It's just wrapped. It was originally for the 4 days, but then obviously the Queen's funeral happened and they took the decision to shut on the Monday, which did mean that a lot of the seminars and a lot of the stuff that was happening that would normally happen on the Monday was pushed to the Tuesday or other dates. Okay, so this is me fresh back, so excuse the state of my own place. We're actually, look, I haven't even finished unpacking this office. This is how terrible this is. I'm going to start off with, I didn't get to attend any of the super stage, not because I didn't want to, but it was just because everything that I wanted to see in the other rooms clashed with the super stage, but I did hear great things about that, so I just want to say no critique on that whatsoever. So let's just start with something that really bugged me. Today on the Tuesday when I went, we had problems with the disabled access parking, not the parking itself, but more accessing the venue from the disabled parking. It seemed there was a little cohesion problem. So if I do recommend, if you're going to NEC, this is more an NEC problem than it is the photography show, but just look into that because it seemed there was a discord between what was actually meant to happen and what did happen, and as it turned out it was a miscommunication between the security guard, the bus drivers and whatever. I am going to say now, this was definitely a welcomed return to the photo show. It was really good. There was lots of really good seminars going on, lots of demos. Yes, a lot of the same people you've seen quite often at the photo show were back, but there was a lot of new stuff going on. I know my friend Corin was really excited to see Simon's wet plate photography, and I didn't get to see that, but she raved on and on about it, and she's very precise with what she likes. So yes, yay, that's got great. I will say there were some people who was like, oh, they're always here, they're always doing the seminar. And I know the people you're talking about, and I'm sure they're aware because they're the ones delivering it. Sometimes they have to use the dependable, the constant thing because that's what people show up for, that's what people want to go for. I do understand that they are slowly dripping in fresh blood, as they say, and some people were like, yeah, we want more, and I completely get that aspect of it, but also, you know, you need to appease everybody and you're never going to do that, so it's good to have a bit of the old and the steady and bring in some new stuff. So yes, I'm gutted to have missed the Nikon music photography seminar that was today. That's the Tuesday. I got caught up talking to a supplier and time got away from me. I would love to see a lot more of these live streamed if possible, even if it's just like maybe only available for you to rewatch maybe for the week after the show and then it's gone. I really think that is something that they could possibly do on all the stages. Maybe they'll do that at a later date, so I'm really gutted. So if you do, let me know, drop me in the comments. If you did go to the photo show, please drop it in the comments. Because it'd be good to know what everyone else's views are. I saw an excellent seminar by my friend Emma Joanne, who does Shotgun Weddings, which was talking about same-sex weddings and the LGBTQ plus community and how you branch into their weddings and their commitment ceremonies. It was so good. The only downside to this, and this is on no reflection on Emma whatsoever, the creator stage next door to the behind the lens stage were playing videos so loud you could barely hear Emma, and it got to the point where people behind me were getting tutty about it, and I have to say it was loud, and I was a little bit taken back that they could go that loud, but maybe they weren't aware. And I think it was just because maybe when you're doing the seminars, maybe when they bring new people over, they weren't ready, they weren't sure on the volumes. But yes, that was something. Obviously, having some of the stages so close together did mean there was an overlap in sound. Also, you know, the acoustics in there aren't going to be amazing because it's such high ceiling, so it made it difficult. But I will say, Emma's seminar was superb. Yes, she's my friend, but I went, I learned something, and she was so good, and she really opened up the doors and had the forum for people to ask questions. And what was really nice, there was a real different array of people sat there, and they were there to be educated. That was just brilliant. It was really nice to see so many suppliers excited to see us all. Yes, the photo show did happen last year. It was on March, I think, if I'm right, and it was a lot more of a subdued affair. Lots of people weren't there. It was a lot smaller, and I realised that's because we're coming out of the C19 phase, but this was nice. It was almost like a return to all of it. It was nicer. It was a lot slicker. I really loved the inclusion of the big screen when you go in. People were sharing their tweets. It was quite funny. Even my own got on there. I should put that in, actually. The addition that I really liked was the creator suite. This whole idea, creator hub, sorry, where you could go and have like photos taken like, you know, influencers would do. And there was a big market on getting people to be involved in stands. So Fuji Instax had this amazing sort of like swing with foliage that you could go get pictures taken. It was really nice. And the creativity hub, I think you've got it right, they supplied a lot of the models with these exuberant costumes. So look, there was an amazing albino model. If you know who she is, oh my god, sing her praises. She was so fluid with her moment. We aren't talking pouting, we aren't talking like, she worked that room. She was so eye-catching. She was so poised. It was so good. So hats off to her. The lack of information on what the seminar's about, and the reason I'm saying this is that the Creator Hub at the Creators Shoot Stage by Jobby. So I went with a couple of friends who I met up at the show, and we sat down to this one, a day in the life of the creator. We didn't know who any of the creators were. We did Google. We understood one was an author who'd written a book on influencer strategy marketing, or influencer marketing strategy, had a book out. But the other three people on the panel we didn't know. Except, no, that's a lie. We Googled the one of the guys, and he was a mental health advocate, and he had great stuff. I think if you're going to introduce a influencer and you're going to say this is a personal influencer or a content creator, you need to have their stats, or at least how to find their username, because I looked for one of them and couldn't find her. Also, there was this lack of discord, because if you're telling us about the day in life of the creator and and we're meant to learn from this and be educated on this, someone who tells me that they got instant fame on TikTok because they posted one video and it got 5.3 million, and they're not really sure what they did and how it happened, but they did everything wrong and they got it right. You're going to teach me, there is a learning sample from that, but I don't think that the person themselves is probably the best educator on that. And especially when they've only been a content creator for 6 months and they basically have said, oh, I've just started to build it up and I've started to get a bit following. She's had millions of followers. This woman had millions, and she was really lovely. No disrespect to her, but I feel like if this is going to be a learning example, it needs to have an angle of which to learn from. Now, I may have missed the point because I ended up leaving the seminar a little bit towards the end, but again, I wish, if you're going to put people up as creators, content creators, that you should have links to all their stuff up, and we should be able to find that in the program. And I couldn't find it in the program, just their names, and their names didn't correlate straight away to their profiles, which I think is a bit of an oversight when you're doing stuff like this. I was sat next to a friend of mine, and my friend just said, this is really unrelatable to me, because I know everyone has a different life, and I think, and I'm going to just say this, I don't know if this is a generational thing or a mindset thing, but one of the people said that they get up in the morning, they do their affirmations because they feel that if they don't do them, they're not positive, and then they go to the gym for an hour and a half or whatever it was, and then they open their emails at 12. And my friend just looked at me and went, so the whole morning's gone. So your entire creation side is that you waste half the day doing stuff that isn't productive for your business. But I was like, well, that's not really what she's saying. She's doing stuff that's productive for her mental well-being so she can be more productive. But I do think that a generational thing was there. I mean, this is no disrespect to the creator that they were talking about, but I do think it was quite hard to make a seminar that appealing for everybody. And what they should have done and prevented people feeling like they weren't getting much for it is actually discuss day in the life of a creator, but who these creators are. Give us something on them. But obviously that's what the program is. It doesn't have a lot of information on it. And the gentleman that I mentioned with the mental health was just lovely. They all were in their own little niches, but it felt a little... It was a nice spread, but I feel like there was a lot more that could be said there, and a lot more information could be given beforehand. You cannot make a roadshow that appeals to everybody, right? We can't. I do love that there was so much free content out there, as in you got your ticket, but there was so much free content, really. There was a place at the table for everyone to learn something. A lot more of the seminars seem to have been paid attention to. Yes, there were technical issues. It's a massive seminar. There's a lot of stuff going on. There was some bad audio at times, but that happened. It's a big venue. And I did there was a wide variety. I really loved there was so much variety, and it just seemed to be bigger this year, and it was so good. There were so many places where you could get free prints done or have hands-on experience with things or unusual things. I came away buying not much, but I did pre-order quite a bit. But I came away physically with just a camera strap from Imo Straps. And I don't think I bought anything. Well, I did buy, but didn't get to bring it home. I got stuff for delivery. And it was so good. What I found really cool was that everyone was out with the big guns. They had all the cameras out. They had all the new lenses out. Everyone was just gunning to get back into creativity. There were so many seminars happening at individual stands. So even if there was, and it was so unlikely nothing on the main stages were going to interest you. It was so unlikely. There was always something else going on some of the little stands, and everyone was open to talking. There wasn't this kind of, I don't know if it was me, but I saw less people vlogging and people doing like the typical Insta photos. Like at the seminar, there was a lot more people enjoying being just back amongst and being educated and looking at stuff. What I want more from the photo show, always I want more information on the seminars. I feel like you should, in the program, link people's social media and Instagram. It's so much easier, so we can like do some background checking on them. Not background checking like checking them out, but like, do they have appeal? And I think it also drives the whole authenticity and authority of your seminar providers, so we can go look at their socials, and rather than having to do the whole look around for them, just have it there available. That would be great. I was really sad to see that Loxley did not have their People's Gallery. One, because my work's often in it, but also I think it's really nice. But there were, can I just say, so many beautiful galleries that were just really did just open the gates. There was the She Clicks one, there was the Guru Shots one, which I'll be honest, I really liked the rope one, of the composition of the rope. I thought it was brilliant. There was I've forgotten all the names. There was this beautiful photograph of this girl in an RAF uniform. There was the diversity one that I mentioned earlier that was so well attended. Loads of them loved this. It was really nice to see youngsters really engaging with the imagery, and I think that was what was really nice. There was a real mix across the board. Now let's talk about whether you should go. I'm always going to say yes. That amount of free education over that long a time, the fact you can plan it, the fact it's all in one space, you can have hands-on experience with equipment. Yes. What I want more information, more creativity, more fresh blood, and more innovation in terms of it. I will say though, they brought it, they delivered, and they did really well. They're really well. There's always going to be niggly points, and I have to be, my niggly points are very, very grasped at straws on this one. I think this was the best show I've been to for the photo show yet. And I think hats off to anyone who organised it, particularly when the news came. Obviously, they had planned it, and then obviously the sad news of the Queen passing, and they decided to close. They had to move things. The suppliers pulled it out the bag. These suppliers who were hoping to be there for 4 days only had 3 days. It was nice to see people spending money, and there was many people walking around with bags of stuff, lots of bags going on. So yes. Let me know what you think of the photo show. Put it in the comments below, and I'll see you all at the next one. This is just a real quick brief. Take care. Goodbye.